Red Dead Redemption, easily one of my most absolute favorite video games of all time. Released back in 2010 and developed by Rockstar San Diego, it received universal praise upon release and is currently one of the highest rated video games on Metacritic, sitting at a solid 95 out of 100. For those who don't know the general plot of the game, or what it's about, or what the big deal is, I'll fill you in. The game takes place in America and parts of Mexico in the early 1910s, just at the tail end of the Wild West era and heading into a new era of law and order, a more civilized era if you will. The main character here is an outlaw named John Marston, who is blackmailed by the corrupt government into hunting down and killing all of his old gang members while also redeeming himself from his past actions and protecting those he cares about. When this game was released, people went absolutely insane over it for its graphics, story, characters, and gameplay. Even over 10 years later, I consider this game to be a masterpiece. Sure, it has shown its age with the dodgy graphics and weird gameplay, but I still absolutely love this game so much. The game was so successful that it even had a sequel made in 2018, which I can proudly say is my #1 favorite video game of all time, and I believe it to be honestly a masterpiece. Both these games are genre defining and definitely left an impact on the gaming industry for how revolutionary they were and just how amazing they are. Also, there was this other Red Dead Redemption game called Red Dead Revolver, but I never played this game before, and I don't know if it's connected to the Red Dead Redemption universe, so let's just move on. I definitely plan on reviewing both of these games at some point in the future, since I could honestly make a 10-hour long video essay on both games and why I love them so much. They're that good. But today, I'm not talking about Red Dead 1 or 2, but instead, a DLC expansion pack made for the first game that not a lot of people seem to remember, and I honestly believe it is underrated and deserves so much more attention. And yes, I'm of course talking about Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Now, the general plot for Undead Nightmare is fairly simple. It takes place in a separate timeline from the original Red Dead game, so the events from the first game have no effect on this game. The game starts with John Marston visiting his family while his son Jack is coincidentally reading a book about monsters. Quite a coincidence, not gonna lie. When they are sleeping, Uncle arrives at their house and is acting very weird. He bites into Abigail and Abigail gets infected. She then bites into Jack, turning both of them into flesh-eating monsters, aka zombies. After John kills Uncle and restrains Jack and Abigail, he sets off to try and figure out what's going on, find a cure, and also just doing random jobs, helping others, and trying to survive this western zombie apocalypse. Now, one thing I can give this game right off the bat is the zombie feel and apocalypse to this game. Rockstar always wants to make a zombie DLC expansion to the Grand Theft Auto games, but they couldn't find a way to fit in a 1970s B-movie zombie parody into the GTA universe. But they found out that Red Dead Redemption was perfect for a zombie DLC. So in October 2010, right around Halloween, we were blessed with this absolute goat of a DLC game. The zombie themes and elements here do not feel out of place at all. It fits perfectly into the world of Red Dead Redemption and makes for a great gaming experience. The gameplay mechanics and controls here are the exact same from the first game. They're very smooth and have aged very well, although the horse riding mechanics here are not the best. Honestly, I've never been a fan of the horse riding in both Red Dead 1 or 2. It just felt very difficult and it always pissed me off whenever my horse would crash into a tree. It is kind of annoying here, but it's not a major issue. Almost if not all of the controls here have aged greatly. I also really enjoy the gunplay here. When you first start off in the game, you have a very limited supply of ammo and weapons here, but as the game goes on, you collect more weapons and ammo scattered around the map. And you don't just collect pistols and shotguns and all that kind of crap, but other weapons like tomahawks, dynamite, boom baits, torches, and weirdly enough, holy water, which is used as a weapon against these monsters, which, now that I think about it, kinda makes more sense to be honest. The new weapons that have been added to this game were mainly added to use against the zombies, and while they can be pretty helpful at certain points in the game, your best bet is to just use the quick draw mechanic. It's one of my favorite gameplay mechanics from the first game, and works greatly against the zombies here. There's nothing more satisfying than going into a quick draw event and shooting a bunch of zombies right in the head. It's such a great feeling. And yeah, the story isn't as big or grand as compared to the first game, but it still works great here. Like I mentioned before, it takes place in a separate timeline from the original game. While this may seem bad at first, it allows the game to go in all sorts of wild directions and can be tons of fun. To make the story flow better, they added missions throughout the game where John will help out random people around the map and protect them from zombies. I'm really thankful that instead of having this be a generic zombie game, they added a coherent story to the game that ties into the zombie theme very well. And some of the characters they add to the story are a mix of original characters and characters from the original Red Dead story. The characters here do a great job at letting the story flow smoothly and do not feel forced at all, and they can have some really nice interactions with John. And of course, the biggest aspect to open world games like these are the maps. They retain the same map from the first game, but in the pause menu, they added cool yellow, red, and green effects to it. It really gives off the feeling that this is completely different from the first game. And the entire world here has such a creepy and abandoned feeling to it. It can be genuinely really scary when a zombie or infected animal just attacks you out of nowhere. All the locations and buildings here are broken and run down and are infested with these monsters. I'm really glad that they opened the whole map to us and didn't just have us be stuck in certain locations like most DLCs. There's not much else I can really say about the open world and the map, other than that I really like how they retained the original map, but also added these cool zombie elements to it. Even the graphics here, which aren't amazing, are still very appealing to look at. They are a bit pixelated at points and can be a bit dodgy, but Rockstar was never about making games that were graphically appealing, but creating big worlds that felt alive and real. Even though most of the creatures in this game are dead, the game feels so alive and amazing. I especially love the designs on all the undead creatures here. They don't go for generic zombie designs and actually make them look genuinely really scary. And of course, how could I not talk about the music here? The songs present here, along with the background music, fits into the theme of the game so well. I love almost all the songs here. My favorite song from the soundtrack has to be Bad Voodoo by the Creeps. It's the music I use in my channel outro, and it's a song I listen to all the time. It's great to listen to. Rockstar has a track record of having great music in their game, and here is no exception. All the songs and music here is great. Even some of the side missions here are really fun. Helping a random people or burning graveyards can be so much fun. I'm honestly shocked and amazed with how much effort was put into this DLC game. They took all of the aspects I loved for the first game and gave it a Night of the Living Dead vibe to it. Even as a standalone game, this is so much fun. Like I said, I'm shocked that so much effort was put into this game. Since not a lot of effort is put into DLC games, it's usually just extra levels and more characters, and that's really it. But here they wrote an entirely new story, and I'm amazed here. You don't need to have played the first game to understand what's going on here. All you need to do is hop in, kill zombies, help out people around the map, and try and find a cure to help end the apocalypse. The structure and gameplay is very addicting, and I have poured hours into this amazing game. I would highly recommend giving this game a go. It's available on Xbox and PlayStation. Again, this isn't a standalone game, so you do have to get the original Red Dead Redemption game. I own a physical copy of Red Dead Redemption, and it even came with a physical disc copy of Undead Nightmare. While the original Red Dead is obviously the better game in terms of story, scale, and just gameplay in general, this little zombie expansion pack is so much fun to just sit down and kill some zombies and have fun. I really wish that this game got more recognition, since it deserves all the attention. When Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, I was hoping that Rockstar would do an Undead expansion for that game. Killing zombies as Arthur Morgan would have been an incredible experience, but sadly Rockstar seems more focused on other endeavors, such as GTA Online, Red Dead Online, and GTA the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. But in conclusion, this is an incredibly fun and addictive DLC episode that y'all should definitely check out. And also, just get the original Red Dead game while you're at it. It is a lot of fun, and it goes above and beyond for what a DLC expansion pack should be. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video, hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.